Okay. Welcome everybody to another edition of the Get Inside Me show, where I am so thrilled and excited to have everyone's favorite Prince of R&B, Alan Z. And what makes it so special today is that I've worked with you quite a few times on the All Asian Men Talk panel. And ladies, this time he's going to be, this time you are on Spreaker Radio, live on the air. So that's what makes it extra exciting for me this time around, because I get to actually share to you guys everything about Alan Z. So,
yeah, no doubt.
So how are you doing, Alan Z?
I'm good. Just been staying busy. Just trying to make the best of everything. How are you?
I can't complain. In all honesty, I can't complain at all. If anything, for those of you guys who are looking to hear it live, I have had the opportunity to go ahead and tag you onto the Spreaker, just in case. And also, Alan Z will also provide you guys with the link. Not only that, even if you guys missed out on it, you just go on Spreaker.com / then at the end of the show, you'll see it reappear. So you guys can always recheck the playback, and also on my YouTube channel, and then even on YouTube anytime you guys Google Alan Z, all this interview and everything before pops up. Now, Alan Z, the first thing I wanted to let you know is that a lot of people, when I shared your bio, were very shocked on the fact of everything about you on your bio.
Yeah.
They were very shocked that, first off, your father taught in an all-black university.
Right.
Then they were shocked at the fact that you grew up in a world where it was predominantly Black and Latino. You started very young writing poetry, and then you transitioned into music at a very young age, and that you're actually from China.
Right.
And for those of you guys who may not know all of this, and if you check on the description box down below and everything, you will see all of everything that I'm sharing with you guys about Alan Z in his autobiography on MTV, the website. And the link is also provided in the description box. So, Alan Z, how does it feel to first off have MTV, one of the biggest music network ever, other than a VH1 and BET, to actually showcase your autobiography?
I think it's good. I mean, it's just something I would say is a good sign for the future, because I don't really want to settle for indie success. Like, I really want to push for the mainstream. My whole goal is to cross over, is to be one of the first Asian American pop icons in America. You know what I mean? So every little progress is good for me as far as making strides. So.
For you, how do you feel about the whole, because I notice at times I see that certain genres of people are trying to push you in the K-pop category.
Yeah. Good observation. I mean, to be honest, like, I kind of embraced it just because I didn't realize I gained an audience, like, through K-pop, because I was, of course, like, trying to do more R&B and just be seen as an individual, but ever since I started getting more shows and more opportunities in that route, like, I didn't want to lose that audience, because I once I did that show in Philadelphia, it was this thing called K-Pop Con. Like, I didn't realize I had so many fans, and I felt like I wanted to feed the demand. And of course, it is really annoying when people think like I'm K-pop or like I'm just like foreign or whatever. But I mean, until the day I break through, like, I'm still gonna use that as a vehicle. You know what I mean? The way I kind of see it is like when Eminem first came out, he was constantly compared to like NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys, and he was like really fed up. He's like, no, I'm an MC, like I'm an original artist. But at the same time, it's like being put in a box where something is popular can really affect you if you use it the right way. If you're seeing it in a very pop image or something that's commercially accessible, you should embrace it and then flip it around and let people know who you really are.
Now, for me, how I ended up running into you was because I was ending up trying to figure out other music other music than the same old. You know how you have certain people that love K-pop, and K-pop, for those who are like, what is K-pop? That's Korean pop music. Then you have Chinese pop music, Thai pop music, all varieties of Asian music. But a lot of people keep forgetting. To me, music is just music. It doesn't matter what your nationality is. But what makes you guys stand out more is because in the music industry, it is very rare to see them showcase the talent of other nationalities other than black and white people in the music industry, because Latin music just started blowing up more, like crossing over ever since that whole Latin explosion with Ricky Martin. I believe at the time, Jennifer Lopez, I'm not sure if it was Pitbull or one of the three. It was three of them that they were like, oh my goodness, these people are bringing Latin music to America. And it's like, no, it's always been here. So how does it feel knowing that you are the Prince of R&B, and that 99.9, I would say, percent of your fans are females, but what they call women in heels?
Yeah, if you wanted to know, I guess, where that came from, it started as a joke, because the original line that was said by a rapper named Cannabis, and he said it in a diss track to LL Cool J when they were beefing back in the 90s. And he was dissing him. He said 99% of your fans were high heels, which was kind of insinuating that the only reason you're selling records is because you're appealing to females. And I thought it was like, for me, like, I took that and I wanted to run with it at my own book, because I'm like, yeah, 99% of my fans are females, you know. So I kind of it became like a self-fulfilling prophecy. You know, like, I said that like for a long time, and then it kind of stuck, because I started noticing like dudes don't really listen to me, and I found that, you know, I just have a very big audience of women, and I feel like it's perfect because that's what my music is targeted. Is where it's catered towards, you know. So as far as just that stigma or that I guess that slogan, I feel like it fits me very well. Especially the kind of music I mean, you know.
For a lot of people who may not know, like for me, like when it's not until I moved to Florida, my sister's always been into all varieties of Asian music, because living in Chicago, for some reason, she always attracted Asian guys. So it was so crazy when I moved to Florida, and I've heard of K-pop and T-pop and C-pop. I'm like, okay, I've always watched all the dramas from all over the world, like Indian movies, all varieties of different cultures. But it just was so crazy on how music is in America. And it's so weird to see how music is sold and being shared, and the style of it. And it's the same exact way with all genres of music from the different parts of the world. And I can only imagine, how does it feel to know that you have artists like Taeyang, G-Dragon, you know, all of these people, and all the women say, you know what, we're throwing AlanZ in that same bucket because he's in the same like category with all of these guys.
I mean, like I said before, like I don't really mind it, and the reason I say that is because it's not like they're comparing like style with someone that's not good looking. It's like, if you put me in a box with a lot of other good looking dudes, I can't be mad at you. You know what I'm saying? And like, until the day I really break through and I show people who I really am and like what I'm capable of, all these comparisons are gonna be thrown at me, and I can only embrace it and use it for my own benefit. You know what I mean? Like, if they compare me to Jay Park or to Taeyang, any of those guys, then, you know, I'm cool with it, you know, because I would love to go on tour with them. I would love to do songs with them and to cross over, you know, tracks with them and whatnot. So I'm cool with it, you know. I mean, preferably I'd like to be compared to people I see that's more fitting in my style, like Chris Brown and Trey Songz, and you know what I mean. But until then, like, I'm cool with whatever they think of me, as long as they're willing to accept it and listen to me. The whole goal is for them to listen to my music, so whether it's through something you heard about me, or if there's something piqued your interest.
You know, what I found so interesting about you and your music is that you do have this thing where you find a track, you personalize it, and a lot of times when you personalize it, you know how some people, they'll remix a rendition of one artist's song, but it'll just be the same topic?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, okay, well, I understand. If the song was about big booty, you're going to make a song about big booty, but your version. But for you, when you remix a song, you actually change the subject, the whole title, and make it your own thing completely. And not only that, it's so, and I know I'm about to make you blush right now, but what is so interesting is that you're very handsome, by the way.
Thanks.
You look so innocent. And the craziest thing is, your lyrics are so freaky. It kind of makes me feel like I should feel ashamed that I'm even thinking like that. Until I get to the next track, I'm like, no, it's not me thinking dirty. This is actually your niche.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird that you say that because I feel like a lot of people I come across always be like, oh, I thought you were so innocent. Or like, I think it's just the fact that I have a baby face. I guess that helps me get away with a lot of stuff. You know, I mean, I don't write dirty stuff intentionally. It's just sometimes that's just the way I think. I think like Michael Jackson was like, he doesn't really know what overcomes him when he's on stage. Like if he's grabbing his crotch or he's doing all this stuff. And I'm kind of like that with me when I write. You know, like if I write something and someone questions me on it, I'm like, I don't know. That's how the music took. You know, and I thought it was interesting you pointed out as far as me personalizing my remixes because, like, I mean, you probably saw like when I posted on social media yesterday. Like, I wanted my fans and people that listen to me to know if I remix something to not label it a cover. And the reason I say that is for the exact reason you mentioned is I'm not doing a rendition. I'm not doing karaoke. Like, this is something I just flipped. You know, like this is something I learned from people like 50 Cent. Like when he first got signed, before he got signed, sorry, he took the mixtape route, which was actually available at that time, and he flipped different records that was hot and made it into his own. And even though I have a lot of original music, I wanted to capture the attention of people that wouldn't have listened to me before. So I just targeted certain songs that I knew was hot, but I knew I could flip it better. You know, whether I would do like my own verses or just completely rewrite the song. I wanted to just show people this is what I would sound like if you gave me that record, and which helps me as far as pushing my own records in the future, so they'll know they have an anticipation for what I'm gonna be like if you give me like a pop record or a club joint.
What I find that is so intriguing about you musically is that you tackle pretty much any type of music. So you know how you have certain artists that are good, but they're only good in the category that they're in. But for yourself, it's like it doesn't matter if it's rap, because to me it's like you're the Asian. I don't know, if I were to make an AlanZ artist beef stew, and I have to say beef stew because you're a guy. To create the perfect AlanZ, if you weren't like real, but I had to create you, I would have to definitely throw in a rapper, which would be of course Eminem. Then I would have to throw in Trey songs. I would have to throw in R. Kelly. Then I would have to throw in let me see. I would have to throw in some Taeyang, because you have tackled a few Korean K-pop music and you did wonderfully, especially a rendition in English, which is so hard to translate words from one language to the other. And it's like you're just like I would say you're like the Asian version, except I would say a triple threat, because it's, you know, you speak other languages as well, but a triple threat of Drake. I'm gonna say Drake, because it's so fascinating how you can go from rap to music. And then it's like your mindset of how you process and you take one song and say, okay, this is how, if I were to do it, this is how I'm going to do it. It's like effortless. So is there ever a time where because I always hear like the greatest artists always say, when I made this song, it's not until a few weeks or a few months later, I kind of thought to myself, I could have did it this way. But then they find themselves thinking, if it was up to me, I would always constantly remake that song. So I would never be satisfied with it. Is there ever a time for you where you're like, man, I did this song, but you know what? I'm going to upload it and redo it again after everyone loves it?
Oh, yeah, that's me like 90% of the time. But at the same time, I also know that I don't just make music for myself. And if people like it, it would be wrong for me to be like, all right, screw whatever you guys think. I'm going to do it over. You know, so sometimes I just let it be. Like, if I feel like my fans or whoever is listening is digging it, I'm gonna let it be, because I want them to enjoy it, you know, like the way that they already know it. And also, as far as me right now, my main goal is to create a big enough buzz so that I can start pushing my original music. So as far as like remixing the covers, they're really just kind of like warm-ups. These are just like, I'm just shooting in the gym and just like trying to get the perfect score, figuratively speaking. And so I don't really focus that much on it. If I was to focus on something now, it'd be like if I was to do like an original song, and I would try to figure out the perfect way to market it, you know, because my mindset's a little bit different, because I don't really dwell too much on like covers and remixes. Like literally now, like I'm past the point where I train myself to do it so easily. Like I just do it in a day and I just upload it the next day. You know what I mean? Like I don't think anymore. So I think I'm in a good zone as far as creating.
Now, for you, how are you able to do the good balance of keeping your innocence, but definitely being able to walk the fine line of being the dare sexy type? Because, you know, a lot of times when you have artists for artists, when it comes to R&B music, they either, like a Trey song, super freaky, or they're innocent.
Right.
But for some reason, you know how to balance yourself in a way where it's not to the point where it's like, okay, hey, he falls to the sexy side, that's it. And you can't go back to being innocent. And it's almost like you're teasing the women out there with being able to have them see a glimpse of the adult version of you. But then it's like after the whole track is over, you feel like, oh my gosh, did I just experience this moment, or was that all in my head? And then you replay another track where you have music such as Hold It Down with DJ Khaled. Then you have Let Me Know, which I love. Then you have... Okay, and then it's so crazy to see how all your fans upload videos, tag you on it, and then She Knows It. It's like, so for you, did you ever think that at this point in how far and you've come a long way in your music career, that you would have had such a huge fan base, such a huge attraction in such a short period of time?
I mean, it's like yes and no, you know, because I always felt like I was destined to do this, and I didn't know at what point I would actually cultivate a fan base, and I'm very thankful for people that actually listen to me. Sometimes they get always surprised, you know, because I guess I'm used to being slept on and overlooked, so the fact that people actually like check for me is something that I really cherish, you know. Like, I mean, I feel like what I'm doing now has proven the point I've always wanted to make, which is music is universal. Like, when I first started, I remember people would always like push me to be like, oh, we should just go to Korea, we should go to China, like they'll accept you there, or something like that. You know what I mean? Something very condescending, like you can't make it here. Or they'll be like, oh, if you're Asian, you should just try to just stick to the Asian market and like, you know, within like Asian communities, and don't try to branch out. And I get really frustrated because I'm like, if you knew me as a person, like you wouldn't say that, because first of all, like I try to, but like a lot of people don't really get me, you know what I mean, as far as like in my own community. So like that wasn't the first step. The first step was whoever was gonna listen to me, which is why when I first started, like I actually did like all black shows. I used to go to like ciphers, I used to battle, like I used to just do things just based on my own whim, and it wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna target black people. It was more like whatever I was comfortable with, whatever I felt like I could get a reaction from, I was gonna do it. You know what I mean? So like the fact that I'm getting like black fans, white fans, like Hispanic fans, and Asian fans, just in different areas, like it's really it's something that I kind of methodically wanted to do, just to show people that it doesn't matter I'm Asian, or it doesn't matter that this person's white. Like you can get whatever fan base you want. You can get a following based on your music and merit. It has nothing to do with your appearance. You know, maybe something a little bit to do with your appearance, but I mean, it's just I wanted to show people that music is, that's all that counts in as far as being an artist.
See, it's people like because when I think about G Dragon and Taeyang and all the other K-pop artists, you would have to actually be into the music to even know that genre of music actually exists. But what I do appreciate the most about your artistry and the way you present yourself and put yourself out there, music-wise, even when you do videos just talking about random thoughts, people like you, people like Brian Jing, people like Theo Kim, and all that, it's just so interesting on how first, we have to say, in this type of market, no matter what kind of market it is in the U.S., like I said before, it's kind of a market where it's just now they just started accepting black people into music, giving them a fair shot a little bit, and then they just added Latin people into the mix of music. So it's almost like where you are now in music, along with a lot of other Asian artists like Jay Park and things. It's like you guys are way before your time, and we're still like back in 2015, and you guys are like 2016, a year or so ahead of us. But what's so interesting is that you guys do your own thing without it being such a thing where it's like, man, I don't know, maybe it's almost like, okay, I'm Asian, so what? Okay.
Yeah.
And it's cool because it's seeing it from your point of view, where you had the song where you were talking about how you were not treated fairly growing up and stuff, and then you turned that into a song, and it's almost like you always forget. I don't know why when it comes to the mainstream of films and movies, why it almost seems as if people forget that, hey, in the race of people, there are more than just Latin, black, and white. There's so many varieties. But the cool thing is,
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, what I was gonna say was the cool thing is you definitely bring the money shot. I can't say anything wrong about your performance, your music, or anything. It's just so crazy because it's like all of that in such a innocent looking face, and then when you hear the words bellowing out of your voice and stuff, you're like, what? And it's like crazy.
Right. I think you bring a really good point, because I feel like I've had conversations with my friends before, and I feel like a lot of people in America especially, they kind of see everything as black and white. You know what I mean? Like, even with racism, like, it's like almost like it doesn't count unless it happens to a black person or a white person. You know what I mean? It's like if somebody attacks a black person, that's racism. If somebody assaults a white person, that's racism. If somebody disses Asian people, that's not racism. They're just joking. You know what I mean? It's like that's how people see it. And I guess for me, like, the reason why I push so hard to make it in America is I feel like I have like a platform I'm going to use. I want to raise awareness. I feel like we're such an invisible minority, and there hasn't been someone to be like, no, this is wrong. You can't do that to us. You know, like someone to just actively be like a voice. You know, I wouldn't want to be. Of course, I don't want to take on the burden and be like, yeah, I would speak for every Asian person, but at least I can speak for myself as far as an individual, how I feel and how I think we need to be treated equally, and we need a fair shot, and how a lot of us have been grinding for so long, and we don't get that shot because of our ethnicity. Like, we'll get turned down because they're like, oh, there's no market for you, we don't want to market you, or like, so and so, as far as like, which demographic looks at you guys like this. Like, there has to be someone that breaks that glass ceiling, and I've always felt like I want to be the one to do it. You know, I feel like I have all it takes to do it.
No, you definitely do. What I do find very amazing about you as an artist, and like the previous Asian guys that I talked about, that you guys participated in the All Asian panel last year, which thank goodness is going to be a second annual of the All Asian panel where you get to reappear again. Is that what I love is the fact that you are nothing like the stupid negative stereotypes that society puts on every single race. But it's like you're showing everybody that, hey, Asian people are normal. It's not one of those high society, quiet, you don't know they're existent type people. Like you love R&B, you love music, you're into cultures, you're very down to earth, and you know, you do have a romantic side. It definitely shows that in your music and things like that. And just like I had asked JT Tran, about 2 weeks ago, what are your thoughts on AMBW? And for those of you guys listening who doesn't know what AMBW is, it's Asian men and black women dating and uniting in relationships.
I mean, I think it's great just because I've been in a lot of those kind of relationships, and for me, I've always will have like a soft spot for black females just because that's always been my strongest support system as far as fans, you know, and I've always had a connection to them. I think the one thing I don't like is I feel like a lot of there's not a lot, sorry, like a few of those in those kind of like communities or relationships kind of fetishize it. You know what I mean?
Oh,
kind of,
yes.
Treat it like that's one thing that bothers me, because I feel like when you put something in a box, there's bound to be people who be like, oh, how do you catch an Asian guy with a Pokeball? Like something stupid, and it's like it's like you're doing exactly what racist people do. Like you're putting everyone in a box. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like some Asian guys do the same thing with black women, and I think it's very shameful. I feel like it's good to raise awareness, and it's good that these kind of communities are coming up because I feel like it's doing great things, but there's always the bad apples that try to spoil the bunch, you know. But for the most part, though, I think it's great because when I was a kid, like I was like when I used to watch like Romeo Must Die, I'm like, damn it, why is Jet Li not a kid to lead? I'm like, this is crazy. Like this, you know, I was like, yo, I gotta like redo this movie or some shit. Sorry, I don't know if I can cuss, my bad. But,
oh no, that's fine.
Okay. And I've always just like, you know, yo, like I would love to do like a movie where I'm like I'm the male lead and then it's like my female lead is black and we just scare hella white people and you know what I mean, and like just something to change the game. So I'm glad that it's an actual thing and it's not something that people look at like two unicorns walking together. You know what I mean? Like I'm glad that it's a fostering relationship, a building community.
Now, for you, do you have any up-and-coming events coming up? Because I saw not too long ago, I saw you doing a tour with other K-pop artists, which I was like, what? Then you were also on CNN, so I was like, what? Like, you have been, like, splattered everywhere. And mind you, we're only in the month of, what, July of 2015?
Yeah, I got some events coming up. Yeah, I was on Huffington Post February to talk about the first episode of Fresh Off the Boat. That was really cool. Like, I got to talk to the executive producer on the show, and other people that were on it were like people like Jason Chu, who's a really talented rapper, and also Chris Chan, who was a producer for Insanity and Looper and films like that. And like for now, as far as my goals, there's a lot of things that like it's happening, but until contract is signed, I don't want to like jinx it, you know. So, but the things I can talk about is I'm getting ready to release my clothing line as far as like my shirts and merchandise, and the clothing line is called Savage Native, and I got my designs ready, so I'm gonna start pressing up shirts really soon for my fans and for people to purchase. And the other thing I'm really excited for is I'm going to be debuting my original single, Touch and Go, and it'll be available to purchase on iTunes very soon. And it's something I've been wanting to do for a long time. Like the song started as a demo around 2013, but I debuted it in Philadelphia when I headlined a show. And what's crazy was like I sang the song once, and like by the second hook, like every girl in the front row was singing to it, and I knew I had something because I started getting so many requests from girls like, when is Touch and Go going to be released? If you don't release it, I'm going to hurt you. Like I knew there was something, there's a push behind it, so I called my producer who's Kurt from Full Force, and I don't know if you know Full Force is, but like they're a legendary group that produce for like Rihanna, Nicki Minaj, Justin Timberlake, James Brown, Patti LaBelle. But like he's like my mentor, so me and him put together the final tracks. We're gonna have like three to four, probably three different versions of the song for purchase. Like there's a radio version, there's a club mix, there's an EDM mix, and we're gonna get ready to push that as far as my first single for the world here.
Now, I see that you've also lent your debonair style to the Sunny but Shady Apparel, where you get to model for them.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'm actually looking for sponsors, more like Sunny but Shady, just so I can get exposure and a little bit more money in my pocket, just so I can fund my career a little bit, you know, because a lot of these things cost a lot of money. Like, people don't realize that, like, you know, the videos, the promotions, the distribution, just, or, you know, hiring actresses or directors, all of that is a lot of money. So I've been trying to use my pretty face just to kind of contact different, you know, companies, you know, as far as clothing lines and anyone that's interested in having my face or my representation for their brand. And I've been really gunning for that so that I can get, one, an affiliation with them as far as whatever they're doing, and two, to kind of invest in my own career a little bit through sponsorships. And one thing I like about Sunny but Shady is the clothing is actually something I would rock anyway. You know, like I have like snapbacks from them, and it's stuff that like I would have purchased anyway. And you'll see that soon in a music video that I'm doing. So.
Well, you know what? I'm very excited for you, and I'm very proud of you because I cannot believe I connected with you over 2 years ago, and it's so amazing on how, first of all, very young you are, and you've accomplished so much. And it's like nowadays it's so rare to find people in your generation doing the most with their talents at such a young age. And the crazy thing is, you're so down to earth. Everything you put out there is you. It's genuine. It's nothing that you're putting out there or anything that you've put your hands on. That's pretty much like, okay, let me do this just for the sake of just to get benefits. It's either they take it or they don't, and that's just it. Leave it or take it, and that's what I appreciate the most about you. Since we're winding down on time, everyone, of course, don't forget this today was all about AlanZ. And for those of you guys listening, please don't forget to check out his social media page and his MTV bio on MTV on the description box down below. You can always find and follow everything AlanZ on his social media. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to be, not going to be unfair. All of you guys get to have the opportunity soon I will be advertising an opportunity for you guys to join AlanZ in the all talk panel that's all about AlanZ, where you guys get to ask him all and any questions except, 2 personal questions, live on the air on Google Hangouts. And luckily,